What's up, guys? It's Uncle Freedom coming to you on a glorious and well-deserved day off, and today we're going to look at what was a very well-received first volume, and that is volume 2 today of The Terminal Effect. So, strap in, go ahead, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. We're defeating the algorithm overlords one day at a time by you guys liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, even if it's just algorithm. I appreciate you. If you're looking to support the channel, take a look down in that description box below. You'll find a link there that will go to a website or the Google Doc still. I don't know which one will be there, but either way, that's the links for my link for all of my affiliate links. The name of the website is violentalgebra.com. And I need to give a huge shout out to the biggest supporter of the channel right now, and that is Outlast Supply. OutlastSupply.com. Great people over there. If I curated a store, it'd look a lot like what they did. All great gear, no fluff, just good stuff. So I toyed with how I was going to do the volumes for the Terminal Effect, because I'm a ballistics nerd. I'm a junkie. I love this stuff. And I decided I would rotate them back and forth. We'll do a handgun round and a rifle round. You guys need to make sure you leave down in the comments below what you want to see so that I can get it into the queue and start working on it. But today, I thought we would talk about Old Faithful in a classic, the 30-06 Springfield. If there is, I should say the 30-06 Springfield, also known as the 30-06, the 7.62x63. But let's be real, there's not much you can't solve with a 30-06, especially in North America. But if there's ever been a caliber that can come close to the legend and level of mystique as the venerable 45 ACP, it's the 30-06. And like the 45, it is chambered in some of the most amazing and timeless firearms ever created. With the 45, you had things like the Tommy gun, the grease gun, the 1911, and now we're going to talk about having things like the M1 Garand, the 1903. Like, we are creating Americana, basically, with this cartridge. So let's take a look at it. First introduced in 1903, but it didn't stay that way very long. That round was known as the 30-03. It had a very different bullet design, and it didn't last very long. So in 1906, we actually adopted what would become the final variant of the 30-06 projectile, and it was dubbed Ball Cartridge Caliber 30, model 1906, hence that 30-06. The initial loading of the 30-06 was a 150 grain flat base Spitzer projectile, doing about 1,700 feet per second. That's really anemic, right? But we have to think back in the day. This is the early 1900s. Smokeless powder is a brand new thing, basically, and we were still like in the fat and slow categories there, and we didn't get out of that for a while. Hence the 45 ACP. But the initial loading was really weak. Now, the thing about this initial loading is it went hand in hand. It came out of the gate hot, loaded in the Springfield 1903 bolt-action rifle that we stole from Germany. I mean, look at us getting our China on. I guess technically, if you think about it, China knocking off the stuff that we make is really just China knocking off the fact that we knocked off a freaking rifle, man. Like, we straight jacked the Mauser action, but it's a really good action. And it was cool. And when they were like, pay for it, we were like, no, because we're America and we were bullies, and still are. But outside of the 1903 Springfield, the first available commercial loading we actually saw for this round was the Winchester Model 1895, and that was in 1908. So almost immediately following this cartridge being adopted by the United States military, the public saw it, like the firearms manufacturers saw a point and a purpose to the round. That was followed up by the Remington Model 30 in 1921. So it took a while to get our second gun out there. And then even more so, the Winchester Model 54 bolt-action rifle in 1925, and then the Savage Model 40 and 45 in 1928. Now, after we get past those, we're pretty much starting to talk about things are changing pretty drastically in the world. This round was also loaded in the M1917 Enfield, so that's an Enfield rifle. It was also loaded in the 1917 show shot machine gun. It was loaded in the venerable 1918 BAR. I mean, I didn't have to carry one, but the Browning automatic rifle, the original squad automatic weapon, loaded for the venerable 30-06. Back when men were men and we shot giant freaking rounds on full auto. But the greatest, and it was also chambered in the greatest battle implement ever devised, the M1 Garand. The M1 Garand is probably one of the coolest pieces of Americana that we could ever see. It was an operated piston system, semi-automatic in a time where semi-automatic wasn't a thing, in-block loaded semi-automatic fighting rifle. I mean, it was a beast of a firearm, but we were firing 8 rounds of Americana 30-06 at you. And we also got that very classic telltale ping sound that just sounds like America. Every time I hear a ping, there's a bald eagle somewhere that just screams in joy. And as tech improved, after these two things kind of happened, tech improved and we moved closer to having our ticket granted to go punch a Nazi. The 30-06 round changed. We went away from the M1 ball round, the caliber 30 cartridge with its anemic 1,700 feet per second. And what we saw going into towards World War II was a 152 grain Spitzer bullet, now moving at an impressive 2,740 feet per second. This is kind of indicative of as powder technology rapidly evolved, right? In the early days, we found a way to get more power out of what we were doing, and we never stopped doing that. Just wait till you hear some of the stuff at the end. We also saw the manufacturer leading into World War II of a couple of very famous rounds for 30-06, and they were the M2AP black tip and the M2 tracer. So this was our tracer. This cemented the fact that good guys use orange and red tracers and bad guys use green tracers. It's just how it is. No, I don't know why. I don't really know why. But bad guys have always used green tracers. The 30-06, aside from being one of the greatest cartridges we've ever fielded at a huge level within the war, and you got to think we were really simple back then, right? Our squad automatic weapon, our heavy machine gun that was taken with people, as well as the standard fighting rifle and the sniper weapon system was all shooting the exact same cartridge. And that's awesome, right? But the 30-06 really shined as a hunting round, and it still does. The 30-06 cartridge has taken literally every single game animal in North America. It has also taken the big 5 in Africa. Specifically, the last one I could find where anybody shot an elephant with it was a 220 grain turned solid projectile. Single shot, killed an elephant, right? So you can do anything with the 30-06. Now, granted, it's not legal to take a 30-06 to hunt the plains in Africa anymore. You can probably hunt plains game, but you can't hunt the big 5. You need at least, I think it's a 375 H&H or a 9.3. But that round has done it. Everything, buffalo, deer, mule deer, bear, you name it, right? We've done it with the 30-06. It is easily one of the most infamous hunting rounds ever made. And it started its career off hunting Nazis. And that's just awesome, right? Like this is what I love about the gun control argument. I'll be very careful here so YouTube doesn't flag me. We're terrified of the 5.56, right? Because it's evil. But we like wood guns. And I like the 30-06 round, right? It's a fantastic round. It's probably one of my favorite rifle rounds ever created. Even after we replaced the 30-06 as the standard issued round for the military, with the 7.62x51 or the commercially available 308, modern advancements in powder and projectiles have just enshrined the 30-06 as is almost as much of a do-all caliber as you can actually do. And there's a lot of people that don't think of it this way. People see the 30-06 and they think, oh yeah, hunt deer, hunt moose, hunt elk, right? And that's where they stop. But you're wrong. Like, you're very wrong. You can literally take a 110 grain varmint projectile in a 30-06 and fire it at mock Jesus at prairie dogs and coyotes. And we can hunt with those. We're talking 110 grain projectile at 36-ish 100 feet per second, sometimes 37, depending on how hot you load. And then we can go take deer and hogs, right? With everything from the 150 grain to the 180 grain soft point. Or we can go with modern monolithic hollow points and stuff. You know, we can get into the 130 grain barn stuff. And we can go take these bigger critters with real reliability. All the way up to moose and elk and caribou here in the States. But we can also take this exact same round and go shoot precision rifle with it. That's right, you heard that right. This is actually a precision rifle round. This is a 168 grain AMAX. The AMAX is an older Hornady bullet. It's a ballistic, it's what became the ELD match round. It's a very thin-skinned bullet. It would actually do pretty well as a hunting round. You would just have like pieces of it everywhere. But it is a very accurate platform. Modern twist rates in any of the newer guns is going to stabilize projectiles, but we can literally go shoot precision rifle with everything from 168 grain to 175 and 180 grain. You know, boat tail, hollow point bullets or open tip match or tipped match kings. And then if we want to go take a Cape Buffalo, we can load up a 220 grain bonded or solid and go do the same thing. We can hunt dangerous game with it too. This isn't like the handgun where we're going to have 3 rounds that could work for helping you if a bear comes at you. This is the thing you take to go get into trouble with the bear. It's the most American thing you can hunt with right now. We can literally do it all with the 30-06. The cartridge that started, well, I won't say it started the 30 caliber because we had the 30-40 Krag. But in a modern, what became the modern cartridge design of America, the 30-06 is our original modern fighting caliber. And that, to me, that's really cool. And since its inception in 1906, people are still learning to love shooting and hunting using that round chambered in a bolt-action rifle that their granddads had for years. The first center-fired rifle I owned was a very old Winchester Model 64, and I adored it, and I still have it. And I have, Remington 700s, like, before they sucked. They're just amazing. But the best part of this is because we never stopped evolving with modern powders and modern projectiles. Remember, I said I was going to get to this again. We can now do anything in the world we want to do with a 30-06, and we can do it at 150 to 300 feet per second faster than the 308. There's no secret that the 308 was one of those things because as powders started getting better, we had less and less case fill, right? So we had all this extra space. This is known as a standard length action. I don't have a 300 Win Mag down here. I'd show you a Magnum length action. And then the 308 would be a standard, or would be a short length action, right? 308's class of rounds. So 308, the 243, and then we look at the 30-06 class of rounds. So 270, 25-06, 65-06, 30-06, 338-06, like the 338 Federal. There's tons of stuff in that 308 and 30-06 class, but the 308 class exists because technology and powder advancements made it so we didn't need this giant case to push this bullet. Modern metallurgy and, a 60,000 PSI rating on a SAMI spec chamber for 30-06, and now we can take, the 30-06 is just as viable as it was. Yeah, sure, your bolt throw is like just a little longer. You'll be fine. And with its loving place in millions of Americans' hunting gear and gun cabinets all over this fantastic nation, and modern companies creating new things like the H-Car, which is one of the coolest firearms I've ever seen, we have not seen the last of our original Warhorse caliber. There's a reason this is still the standard for level 4 plates, this round here, so the black tip. 30-06 M2AP. We have not seen the last. And one of the coolest things to me about the 30-06 rounds, and probably my favorite part about that, is that John Moses Browning did literally the most American thing we could do. He supersized the 30-06 and gave us the 50 BMG to feed the Ma Deuce. It's almost a love story with ballistics. The 30-06 is the modern American love story with ballistics. It just truly is. Something else that's really cool about 30-06, and not everybody's into this, but again, I'm a nerd, is 30-06 is probably one of the coolest cartridges to get into cartridge collecting with. Crazy stuff, black tips, tracers, high pressure aircraft machine gun rounds, those exist. Training rounds, fluted dummy rounds for belted linked fluted dummy rounds. The NM head stamp, so national match, 165 grain boat tail hollow point that they used for Camp Harry. Those are really no further away than your local gun show. And you'd be amazed at what you could find. I mean, I have tons of 30-06 and stuff. This 30-06 is head stamped in 1953. My tracer ammo, 1945. And I don't think I'd be able to show that on here, but Lake City, 1945. That's really cool. And cartridge collecting is a really cool hobby. It's one of those things, if you're already a gun guy, getting into collecting some neat cartridges is just a lot of fun. And there's actually a huge community that does it. But another cool part of 30-06, and I'll leave you guys with this. If you ever decide to go full get off my lawn with a Garand, load that bad boy up with some 125 grain super shock tips from Hornady. That is a like 3,300 feet per second, absolute devastating rocket of a round that really won't over penetrate. And it would make you a Renaissance man of violence. And that's pretty cool. So guys, this has been Terminal Effect, Volume 2, the Venerable 30-06. From the anemic 1,700 feet per second and 150 grain bullet fired in the original variant to being able to push 150 grain projectiles at 3,100 feet per second now sometimes. That's really hot though, but easily into the 29s and 3,000s. Being able to tailor loads from everything from varmint hunting to dangerous game to home defense to target shooting to just plinking. We can do it all, and we can do it in some of the coolest firearms ever manufactured in America. And it's literally one of the most American cartridges ever created. The 30-06 Springfield, the 7.62x63, or my alt 6. So guys, I am Uncle Freedom. Hopefully you found this informative and you learned something new today. So guys, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and until next time, I'll see you later.